Hello everyone, this is Voltage Development and welcome back to another Clickteam tutorial. Now I know I said I would be doing like Unity tutorials, but they won't be happening just yet because I just found out about this and just worked this out literally like right now. And because I worked it out, I thought I'd share with you all. So, if any of you have played this game called Baldi's Basics, where it's like a horror game, I just bought it for you. It's a sort of edutainment game where you have to like answer math questions, and each math question is random, and you have to like input like a number to correspond with the following equation. And when I was watching someone play Baldi's Basics, I was thinking, how are they able to actually make sure that the equation is going to be like, for example, let's just come out of this. Let's just say, let's bring this down and bring this up, and let's open it back up again. Let's just say that the equation is, I don't know, 6 plus 3 plus 9. I know there's no plus in the middle, but just imagine a plus being in the middle, yeah? So, 6 plus 3 plus 9, let's just say 6 plus 3 is equal to 9, and 9 plus 9 equals 18. So let's just type in 18. Now if we press enter, then that should change, but for some reason it's not. So now the string should change when I press enter. So 5 plus 1 equals 6, plus 4 equals 10. So let's type in 10, and look, that now changes. Now, let's just say, for example, I type in, I don't know, 11. Of course, that's not what the equation actually equals. Now let's press enter, nothing happens. But if we actually answer this equation, so it's 5, then it changes. So, how are we going to do this? I will show you in this tutorial. So here we have our brand new application. Yes, we've still got the application up there, but we've got brand new application now. So let's just open up the first frame, and the first thing that we're going to need is a string. So let's just get a string and just place it there. We'll just call this, I don't know, display equation, like so. And now we're going to need 3 counters. You know what, let's just make them bigger so that they're easier to see, probably. So let's put one over there, and let's just call this counter, let's just call it, what do we call it? Let's just call it number 1, shall we? Yeah. Number 1, because it's the equation number 1. Oh, no, not number 1, sorry. Now I know what to call it. Random number 1. Call it random number 1. Now, let's just clone it. And this one is going to be called random number 2, so that's easier for us. Now let's clone that. And then there'll be random number 3. There we go. So let's just put them next to each other so that we've got like a easy reference. So nothing's going to happen to the numbers just yet, but now what we're going to need is another counter. Yes, I know, another one. So put another counter, and this counter is going to be the result of the random numbers adding up together to create the equation. So let's call this one result. And you know what? Let's make that massive, because why the hell not? Now, what we're going to need is we're going to need an edit box. And the edit box is right here. So let's just put this down here, and let's just call this input field, because, well, if you're a Clickteam user, you know that an edit box, you can write stuff in it and do stuff, and, you know. So we're going to call this the input field. And now, we're able to go into the programming part. So go to the event editor. Now, for now, what we want to do is go to the storyboard and do start of frame. And then, with the random numbers, let's just set the first random number. So set the counter to, let's just do a random range. So let's do this between minus 10, and also, actually, let's keep it simple. So, let's do just 1, and then the maximum is going to be 10. So, and because we're going to be doing this randomizer for each counter, we can just drag and drop onto the other counters. So now, when we load up the frame, the counters will be like that. Now, if we load up the frame again, the counters will be different. Wait, is that different? I can't really tell. So that was 6 through 7. Yes, they are different. Okie dokie, just making sure. Okay, also, I'm back to using OBS finally because other recorders just haven't been efficient enough for me. Also, if the video is lagging a lot, I apologize. I've got like a very crappy setup on my OBS, so if it does lag a bit, I'm very, very sorry about that. So now, because the numbers randomize the numbers, we can now do start of frame and display these counters inside of this string, inside of this text. So how would we do that? Well, let's go to start of frame, and underneath display equation, let's go to change alterable string. Now, you can't, because we're retrieving a value from our counter, you can't just simply do go to random number 1 and then do current value, because it needs to be a text expression. Because this is a number, you can't place a number inside a text expression. So how do we do this? We do it like this. So let's just remove that. Instead, let's do string, and then you get the current value. And now it works because we are converting the number to a string. Because, well, previously, the number, because it's inside of a counter, it's technically an integer. Now, when you're doing programming, integers are whole numbers, floats are decimal numbers. So, we've just converted a number from an integer to a string. So, now what we can do is we can do plus, and let's just do like a quotation thingy. And also, when you're doing quotations inside of a text display thingy, make sure that you put a space in between the quotations so that it looks like a space, even though technically, well, it is a space and it looks like a space. So I know that things might be a little bit confusing here, but just bear with me. So now let's just plus, and now do the exact same thing as we did before with the string. So let's add in another string, and then get random number 2 current value. There we go. And now let's plus again, and then do quotation marks and then space in the middle. Actually, let me just extend this so that you can see the full entirety of it. Then we do it again. So plus string and then random number 3. So there we go. That's now all inside of this display equation of start frame. And yes, I know that's a little bit weird to look at and complicated to look at, but if we see the result of this, just watch. You can see 7, 2, 4, 7, 2, 4. Now, you can see spaces in between, and because we've done that, I'll just show you something. So let's just go back into the actual thing, and let's edit it. Now, let's go back to the quotation marks, and let's remove the spaces in between. So, okay. Now let's have a look at this. Now, there's spaces in between the counters, but there is no space in between the actual numbers in the text, because we have removed the space inside the quotation marks. Now, I could actually do this as well. Inside of the quotation marks, you can also do space and then plus space, so that you can actually see that it's going to be added up in the result. So let's just do another space plus space. So then let's see the result of this now. As you can see, 4 plus 4 plus 7. And now what we can do is, let's do another condition, and let's do start of frame. Now with the result, what we're going to do now is we are basically going to do the exact same thing that we did with the text, but we don't need the string to convert the number to string. So what we can do is, inside of the result, we can just set counter to random number 1, get current value, plus random number 2, current value, plus random number 3, current value, and then done. Now, you've noticed that I have not, implemented, or I have not added in any quotation marks. Why have I not done that? The reason is this. 18. So what I've done here is 9 plus 7 is 17. Yeah, I know my maths. And 17 plus 2 is equal to 18. Now, if we do this every single time, the result will be different because the equation is different. The equation is always going to be different, so the result of the equation is always going to be different. But if we went back into the result and edited it, and if we just added a quotation plus, and then over here, quotation plus, wait, something's gone wrong here, mixed strings and numbers. I get it now. Right, so, I think, wait, hang on. I think I know what's gone on here. Right, okay, so, basically, don't do what I just did. Do not put in quotation marks inside of a counter, because counters can only work with numbers. You can't work with text inside of numbers. Same with strings. You can't work with numbers inside of text. You have to convert the numbers into text. Okay, so I've learned that lesson. So now what we can do is we can now... Oh yeah, sorry. Now what we can do is we can... Let's just replace start of frame with an always event, so that whatever we do inside of the frame will always change the equation. Actually, always. Actually, you know what? Actually, never mind. So, what we're gonna do now is let's go to a new condition. Mouse pointer, but don't do anything with the mouse pointer, just go to keyboard. Upon pressing the key, let's just do enter. And now, what we want to do is, if we just press enter right now and we change something, yeah, it doesn't matter what. What I'm trying to say is, this part is a little bit confusing to understand. So what we're gonna do is, if we press enter, then under the edit box, we're going to go to control. No, we're not. Sorry, editing, set text to whatever, to basically blank. So now, if we just do this, and let's just type in, I don't know, 13 or something, yeah, it will just do that. Or if I do that, yeah, it will just do that. But if underneath pressing enter, we insert, go to special conditions, then go to compare two general values. Now things start to get interesting. So, up here, what we're going to need is our input field, the edit box, basically. So we need to get whatever is inside of that input field. So whatever the text that we have inputted into that edit box, we need to compare what we have written in to the result of the counter. So let's just get the result, but it won't do it. Why won't it do it? Because we are dealing with a string up here, it can't deal with a number because we have to compare two different strings. If you were comparing a number to a number, it will work. But if you're comparing a number to a string, it won't work. So we have to compare a string to a string. So let's just remove this, and now go to the string over here, and now go to result down here, and then get current value. So if whatever we have put into the input field, whatever is inside of the edit box, is the exact same as the result, then when we press enter, it will make the text blank inside of the edit box. So let's say, for example, I put in 10, nothing's going to happen. I'm pressing enter, nothing is happening because 10 is not the same as 20. But if I put in 20, then the text is removed when I press enter because 20 is the same as 20 in the result. Now, how do we make sure that when we press enter, a new equation happens? Well, it's just as simple as that. Well, it's actually as simple as this. So, because we are pressing enter and whatever is inside of our edit box, what we're going to do is we're going to just drag this over to here, and drag this over to here, and drag this over to here. And what this is doing is, when we press enter, it's going to make sure that these counters reset. And whatever is inside of those counters will reset in here and in here. So basically, these two things are depending on these three counters. So if these counters change, then these string and counters will change too. So let's go ahead and look at this. So it's 16. So let's just type in, I don't know, 10. So nothing's happening. I can't change the equation because it's not the same as the result. But if we type in 16, then it changes. But the text doesn't change because we forgot to set the iterable string when we press end. Well, actually, technically we could just like set the display string to these counters when we press enter. It could still work like that. Although, if you want to make sure that it works like every single time, then just drag this into the always. And what this is going to do is, no matter what we do, if we press enter and the input is the same as the result, then the text will also change too. So 10, there we go, the text changes too. So 11, 16, 17, but to make this even more enjoyable, of course, what we can do is we can drag these numbers away from the screen and drag this big number, and now we just have this in the middle. So now we can just have it like this. Oh yeah, of course I need to actually drag it out a little bit more because of the big numbers. And now what we can have is these. Oh, for goodness sake, really? That's funny. Okay, just drag them away. There we go. So we just have these big numbers. Well, they're not actually that big. But 7 plus 9, that is 17. Plus 3, that's 20. That is 20 though. Okay, wait. 7, okay, fine. So 9 plus 7. 9 plus... Oh, no, wait, that's 5, 6... Wait. 9 plus 9 is 18. Oh wait, yeah, it's 16, so it's gonna be 19. I am not good with my maths. Okay, so 9 plus 4 is 13, plus 7, that's 20. And there you go. So we've got random. Okay, it's not that randomized, but it's very, very, very randomized. So now, what we can do is, because we have made the basic sort of equation, what we can do is let's just do let's just edit our random counters and let's do random range and set it from -10 to 10. And now drag and drop so that each of these counters are the same. Now let's have a look at these. Now look at this. Right, okay. So 7 plus 0 is, of course, 7 minus 5. So that's going to be 2. There we go. So if you ever played a game called like Advanced Education with Viktor Strobovski or something like that, then you will see these type of equations. And even though it can be quite difficult to like use a randomizer with the plus and a minus, you can easily just like pretend an equation has a minus, because a plus and a minus equals a minus, and a plus equals a plus, and a minus equals a plus, if you know basic mathematics. So yeah, that is the end of this tutorial, and if you would like any help or something, just ask me. And if you want to have a look at this MFA, then I will leave a link in the description to both of these, actually, because I'm actually going to save both of these. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope this all helped you out, and soon I will do Unity tutorials. But for now, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye, everybody.